What is up, guys? Got a pretty sweet dividend stock here. And recently in the markets, we got the overall S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 slowly trending upwards. In the past month, it seems like we've actually went up in price for the first time. In the past 6 months, it just gets worse and worse and worse. But recently, seems like the markets are having a slight turnaround. And I got a really special dividend stock for you guys, which is LTC Properties. Hear me out. This is an extremely stable stock. And you do see the stock price just in the past 2 years have averaged at roughly $35 to $40 around this area. In the past year, despite the fact that markets keep dropping, this was probably one of the only few stocks that actually went up in price, about 26%, when the Nasdaq went down 30 to 33%. Think about that. This is like in a recession-proof stock, literally. Like no matter what happens, it's a product that everyone is using. Now, this is going to be a real estate REIT, but it's not just any real estate REITs. This is going to be mostly for senior housing and also nursing properties. So there seems to be a lot of healthcare and senior properties. That's about it. And housing for older people. If you also check out the metrics for this type of industry, it's growing, okay? Senior housing and care properties historically have increased 2 to 4% every single year. And plus with like an older population that's growing here in the US, LTC is a stock to get. Now we will get into dividends later, but let's talk about what kind of big banks and hedge funds are buying. Remember, there's more changes in shares that are net positive than net negative. If you check this out, sure, there seems to be a lot of selling from a lot of other funds like Morgan Stanley and Spruce Home Investment, but there seems to be even more buying from even bigger guys. Goldman Sachs in the previous quarter bought about 11.3 million shares. It's one of the newest positions that they've entered in. And several other funds are all going, including State Street, which is the creator of the S&P 500 ETF SPY. The Royal Bank of Canada have also went in. Millennium Management, these guys are huge. And several other guys, including Jane Street, Bank of America, and much, much more. So rest assured, this is a recession-proof stock. And a lot of these big banks and hedge funds are going in. Now, the dividends are what's really juicy about this. And the dividends are actually really good. Combined with good earnings, it's a great thing. So they pay on a monthly basis. Every single month they pay, unlike quarterly, which is every single 3 months. So it's basically like a side hustle if you just hold a stock. And given the fact that how stable the stock is, it's pretty good. The dividend yield is at 5.8%. It's not super high, but at the same time, it's good enough to beat other dividend stocks like Apple, McDonald's, and Coca-Cola. So they do pay about 19 cents every single month. So if you have 300 shares of this, you're going to be getting $57 on average every single month just by sitting there. Now, I get it. 300 shares is like $20,000 for the stock. But remember, LTC Properties, because it's a stable stock and so many banks are going in and it's recession-proof, it's worth it. A lot of dividend stocks tend to go down a lot during recessions and also bad market turmoil like this time of high inflation. But this is almost like a Procter & Gamble. Like old people kind of need to use this. You know, it's like nursing, care facilities. These things will never go away, recession or not. So LTC Properties is a pretty good one. So overall, hey, if you do have like a bunch of money from this, it's pretty good. And even if you don't have like that much money on you, I feel like just having 50 shares will get you $10 every month. Might not be a lot, but of course, with that dividend reinvestment, you will eventually get even more of these properties and stocks in the future. It's a phenomenal one, and I highly recommend it. Not to mention, the earnings have always been pretty consistent and have always been pretty stable. Just given the fact that with the general markets this year going down, this stock still managed to go up 24%, shows you how strong it is. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.